Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into a landmark book, Jim Collins' Good to Great. I mean, this one's shaped so much thinking about management and, frankly, about excellence in general.
It really has. It asks that fundamental question, doesn't it? Why do some companies make that huge leap, from just being good to being genuinely great?
While so many others just plateau,
Yeah.
they stay okay, but never break through.
And the research behind it was, well, pretty intense. Collins and his team spent 5 whole years digging through data.
5 years, wow.
Yeah, they looked at, I think it was 1,435 companies initially.
That's a huge pool.
Massive. And they weren't just looking for a flash in the pan, a good quarter or two. They narrowed it down to just 11 elite companies, the ones that made the jump and then sustained that greatness for at least 15 years.
15 years. So this is about endurance, not just a lucky break.
Exactly. It's about building something that lasts.
And it all kind of circles back to that core idea that, quote, good is the enemy of great. Being comfortable, being just good enough, that's the trap, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Comfort kills the ambition required for greatness.
So our mission today is to unpack the 7 core principles they identified, the things that actually defined that leap.
Let's do it. Where should we start?
Well, got to start at the top, right?
Yeah.
With leadership. Principle 1, level 5, leadership. And this kind of turns the typical rock star CEO idea on its head, doesn't it?
Completely. Collins found these leaders weren't the flashy, charismatic types we often see celebrated. They had this paradoxical mix. Deep personal humility combined with just ferocious professional will.
Humility and will. How does that work in practice?
Well, they're not driven by ego or fame. When things go well, they tend to credit others or luck or just the circumstances, they look out the window.
Okay.
But when things go badly, they look straight in the mirror, they take full responsibility, no excuses.
So it's not about them, it's about the organization, the mission,
Yeah.
building something bigger than themselves.
Precisely. Their ambition is channeled into the company's success, not their own personal glory. It's about building something enduring.
The book gives that great example. Darwin Smith at Kimberly-Clark.
Oh yeah, classic level 5, apparently quite shy, unassuming.
Right. But he made these incredibly tough, decisive calls, like selling off the paper mills, the traditional core of the business.
A huge gamble at the time.
Huge. And pivoting fully into consumer goods like Huggies, that took immense professional will, even if he wasn't shouting about it.
That quiet intensity, that's the hallmark. And, that kind of leadership naturally leads into the second principle.
Which is?
First who, then what.
Yes. Get the right people on the bus first. This one feels backward somehow.
It does. Most leaders think, okay, figure out the destination, the strategy, then find people to execute it.
Right, that seems logical.
But the great companies flipped it. Their absolute first priority was getting the right people on board. And just as importantly, getting the wrong people off the bus.
Before they even finalize the direction.
Before they finalized the direction, they figured if they had the right people with the right character, discipline, capabilities, they could figure out the what together.
Okay, I can see the logic. If you have great people, they can adapt if the plan needs to change, right?
Exactly. But if you have a brilliant plan with mediocre or misaligned people, well, you know how that usually ends.
Yeah, not well. So the vision matters less than the team initially.
Collins puts it bluntly. Great vision without great people is irrelevant. The who comes before the what.
So for anyone listening, the takeaway is hire for character and capability first. Be rigorous about it.
And be equally rigorous about moving people out if they aren't a fit. That's often the harder part, but level 5 leaders do it.
Makes sense. Okay, so you've got your level 5 leader, you've got the right people on the bus. What's next?
Next, they have to face reality. Principle 3, confront the brutal facts.
No sugarcoating.
Yeah.
No pretending things are better than they are.
Right. Great companies foster a climate where the truth is heard, even if it's unpleasant. They avoid that dangerous organizational denial.
But just facing brutal facts can be depressing, even paralyzing. How do they avoid that?
That's the key. It's not just confronting the brutal facts. It's doing that while simultaneously maintaining this unwavering faith that you will prevail in the end.
Okay, hold both ideas at once. The reality is harsh, but we will succeed.
Exactly. That's the Stockdale paradox.
Named after Admiral Jim Stockdale, right? The POW in Vietnam.
That's the one. He survived years of horrific conditions, and he said the key was accepting the brutal reality of his situation, no false optimism.
He didn't pretend they'd be rescued by Christmas or Easter?
No. He said the optimists, the ones who did set those deadlines, were the ones who didn't make it. When the deadlines passed, they were crushed. They lost hope because they hadn't faced the facts.
Wow. So Stockdale faced the grim reality day to day.
But never, ever lost faith that he would eventually get out and prevail. He held both.
So for a company, face the market realities, the competitor threats, your own weaknesses.
But never lose faith in your ability to overcome them and achieve your mission. It requires that level 5 humility to accept the bad news and the professional will to keep pushing.
That's powerful. Okay, so, right, people facing facts with faith. Now, what do they actually do? Where do they focus their energy?
That leads straight into one of the most famous concepts from the book, the hedgehog concept.
Right, the hedgehog versus the fox. The fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing.
Exactly. Great companies, like hedgehogs, simplify a complex world into a single organizing idea. They figure out the one thing they can be the best in the world at, and they stick to it relentlessly.
One thing. That sounds incredibly focused. How do they find that one thing?
Through understanding the intersection of 3 key circles, it's a framework for clarity.
Okay, let's break down those 3 circles.
Circle 1, what are you deeply passionate about? What really drives your people? If there's no passion, you won't stick with it through tough times.
Makes sense. Passion fuels persistence. Circle 2.
Circle 2, what can you be the best in the world at? And this requires brutal honesty again, right? Not just what you want to be good at, but what you genuinely can be the absolute best at.
And best in the world doesn't necessarily mean biggest, right? It could be a specific niche.
Absolutely. It's about defining your domain so you can be the best within it. And crucially, it also means identifying what you cannot be the best at and having the discipline to stop doing those things.
Okay, passion, best in the world. What's the 3rd circle?
Circle 3, what drives your economic engine? What's the key metric, the denominator, like profit per employee or per customer or per store that has the most impact on your success? Understanding that gives you economic insight.
So the sweet spot, the hedgehog concept, is right where those 3 overlap. What you love, what you can be the best at, and what makes economic sense for you.
Precisely. And finding that requires deep reflection and, again, confronting brutal facts about capabilities and economics.
The takeaway here is profound. Simplify. Focus. Stop chasing every shiny object that falls outside those circles, even if it looks tempting.
It's often harder to decide what not to do, but that focus is key.
And maintaining that focus, sticking to the hedgehog day after day, requires the 5th principle, doesn't it? A culture of discipline.
Yes. And again, this isn't about tyranny or bureaucracy. It's not about managers breathing down everyone's neck.
So what kind of discipline are we talking about?
It flows naturally from the previous steps. You have disciplined people from first 2. They engage in disciplined thought, facing facts, finding the hedgehog. And that leads to disciplined action.
Okay, so it's self-discipline amplified across the organization.
Exactly. Because you have the right people who are intrinsically motivated and understand the hedgehog concept, you don't need layers of control. They manage themselves.
It's what Collins calls freedom within a framework.
Right. Perfect summary. People have the freedom to operate, innovate, and take responsibility, but all within the clear boundaries set by the hedgehog concept and the company's values. It avoids chaos.
This translates so well to personal effectiveness, too. If you know your personal hedgehog, your core focus, then building disciplined habits around that, that's how you make progress.
Absolutely. It's the antidote to being busy but not productive.
Okay, so disciplined people, disciplined thought, disciplined action. What about tools? What about tech? That leads to principle 6. Technology accelerators.
Right. And the finding here was really clear and maybe a bit surprising given how much hype technology gets.
What did they find? That tech doesn't matter.
Not that it doesn't matter, but that technology in itself never creates greatness. It can only accelerate momentum that's already there.
So if a company is already disciplined and focused on its hedgehog?
Then the right technology carefully selected can help them achieve it faster, better, more efficiently. It pushes the flywheel harder.
But if a company is mediocre, unfocused, lacks discipline,
then throwing technology at the problem won't fix the underlying issues. It might even make things worse. You just become a more technologically advanced, mediocre company.
So the great companies weren't necessarily tech pioneers, chasing every new gadget.
Often, no. They were actually quite careful, even conservative. They'd wait and see how a technology linked directly to their hedgehog concept before adopting it broadly. They let their strategy pull the technology, not the other way around.
That's a huge lesson. Technology serves the mission. It doesn't define it. Don't get distracted by shiny objects.
Precisely. Which brings us beautifully to the final principle, the culmination of all this effort, the flywheel effect.
Ah, the flywheel. I love this analogy. Explain it for us.
Imagine a huge, heavy metal flywheel, maybe mounted horizontally. Getting it started takes incredible effort. Those first few pushes are slow, painstaking, almost feel pointless.
Right, you push and it barely moves.
Exactly. But you keep pushing consistently in the same direction. You apply disciplined effort aligned with your hedgehog concept.
Little by little.
Little by little, it starts to turn and maybe picks up a tiny bit of speed, and you keep pushing. Each disciplined action, each good decision, each person aligned, it's another push.
And eventually,
Eventually, it builds momentum, real, tangible momentum. It gets easier to turn, spins faster and faster, until the sheer weight and speed create this unstoppable force. That's the breakthrough.
so greatness isn't one single aha moment or revolutionary change?
No, that's the myth. Collins found that from the outside, it might look like an overnight transformation, but inside, the people involved just saw steady, consistent pushing on that flywheel, turn after turn, year after year.
It's the compounding effect of relentless consistency.
Exactly. Each small effort builds on the last. Decision by decision, action by action, sticking to the discipline, sticking to the hedgehog.
So the final lesson here is patience
Yeah.
and consistency.
Patience, consistency, and faith that those disciplined pushes, even when they feel small, are building that crucial momentum. Understand that greatness is built, not discovered overnight.
Wow, okay, stepping back, that's quite a framework. Level 5 leaders, getting the right people first, facing reality with faith, finding that hedgehog focus, building a culture of discipline, using tech smartly, and just relentlessly pushing that flywheel.
It really hangs together, doesn't it? Each piece enables the next.
It does. And what strikes me is how applicable these ideas are.
Mm.
You know, beyond just billion-dollar companies, to teams, to careers,
Yeah.
even to personal goals.
Absolutely. The underlying principles, that blend of humility and will, the need for brutal honesty, laser-focused, disciplined action, they seem pretty universal.
It really reinforces that core message from Collins you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, the idea that greatness isn't really about your circumstances. It's not about luck or being in the right place at the right time.
It's a choice.
It's largely a matter of conscious choice and disciplined action. That's incredible empowering, I think.
It really is. Okay, so let's leave our listeners with something to think about, building on all this. If greatness starts with the who, as Collins argues, getting the right people on your bus,
Mm-hmm.
and if sustained effort comes from consistently pushing that flywheel, here's the thought. As you push your own flywheel today, whatever that represents for you, what conscious choice about who is shaping your momentum?
Who are you letting onto your bus?
Right. Who are you listening to? Who are you collaborating with? Or even, what disciplined version of yourself are you choosing to be today?
Are those who choices accelerating your flywheel, or are they maybe holding it back?
Something to reflect on. Those disciplined choices about the who, fantastic. Thanks for unpacking that with me.
My pleasure. It's powerful stuff.
It really is. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.